Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of my Kerbal Space Program series. Today, we will be landing the Dawning from one of these scenarios here in first person. So essentially, I have different mods that have interior cockpit HUDs and uh, Tuffix. I have the Firefly mod, all various mods from the Kerbal mod installer. So let's get to it. So as you can see, first what we're going to do is turn on our altimeter, and then we're going to turn on our ship informational HUD. Mind you, this is how I land the Dawning. There's no NASA or procedural, actual government procedural or NASA type procedures in this channel, or in this mission particularly. I'm just gonna land I'm gonna land it the way that I've been landing it, and hopefully we'll see what you guys think. So I turn on my altimeter. Two things that I'd like to focus on is focusing on the biome on the right information HUD and the longitude and latitude, because clearly, since we're not going to be in third person, we can't look outside and look at the Kerbin from here. So we have to keep an eye on the biome. So right now we're above the ocean, the first ocean. Clearly, you would have been in training if you were flying a shuttle that's about to re-enter orbit. So essentially, we were trained, quote unquote, that we're going to fly over two deserts and then do the deceleration burn over the second or third ocean. Excuse me. So right now we passed over the first ocean. We are currently over our first stretch of land. Let's prepare for the re-entry. So things good, crew's good. In this mod, I can also float around. Yeah, I could. I wish they put HUDs right here. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, you could float around. You could look outside. I would definitely not go EVA at this time. You could switch to the different personnel. Yeah, so it's pretty cool stuff. And I'm also flying with the flight stick. I'm not using any keyboard inputs, except for when I'm floating around. But that's about it. All right, so I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit so we can get our longitude burn a little closer, so we don't have to waste YouTube footage. So the burn for the aircraft usually begins at like 135 south longitude, or 130. Usually at 130, it kind of burns a little earlier. Okay, we're gonna slow down the time speed here. Then we're going to. All right, we're gonna begin our burn soon. So I'm just gonna slowly put the aircraft down. Our pitch is way too high. See? We're slowly coming down. Okay. Our pitch, then we're gonna turn to the and boom, then lock. Cool. It's always imperative to keep your pitch during this phase like at least under 15 degrees. Otherwise, because you're going to need every little bit of speed in order to make it to the Kerbal Space Center. So I like to keep my pitch under 15 degrees. All right, the aircraft's going to start burning here soon. You can see the red aura. Yeah. Wow, look at that. Imagine what real astronauts see. Must be beautiful. Alright, so we're beginning our burn. We're burning over the first desert. We're going to fly over the first desert, over one ocean, another stretch of land, and then the final ocean. So we're going to pay attention to the biome HUD as we make our descent. So Let me just keep this pitch under 15 so we don't annihilate our speed. So from the multiple attempts that I've learned trying to land the Dawning, it's all about energy management, speed preservation. It's a really calculated speed game. You have to estimate the amount of speed you need to burn. You have to chip off the amount of speed in order to not overshoot your target. And yeah. All right, so right now we're passing over the first set of ocean, the first ocean. So here, I'll show you guys in the HUD. So we're passing over the first ocean, then we're going to pass over this stretch of desert right here, and then we're going to do our deceleration burn or maneuver over this stretch and land at Kerbal Space Center. So if we burn too much speed during this crucial moment, we're going to lose speed, and we don't want that. Alright, cool. Alright, we're holding the pitch. Look at all, wow. We are really burning. I would show you the outside of the cockpit, but that would be cheating in my view, so. Alright, we are going extraordinarily fast. Alright, so this is the part where it tends to get a little dangerous to make inputs. That's why you gotta be a little careful. I'm gonna preserve that speed. Alright, I think we're over the first stretch of water. Oh my god. Alright, cool. Alright, I think, let me see. No, we're over the second stretch of water, so it means we need to do our burn. Oh, we might overshoot our target. Fuck. Alright, here we go. So here's where the burn's gonna happen. We need to stay in that triangle up here as the aircraft begins to tilt over the side. Here we go. Oh my goodness. So we have to stay in this little triangle here as the aircraft or spacecraft, as we begin to do our deorbit burn here. Try not to flake out to the sides. Aircraft is really dangerous at this point because try not to overshoot the target, but at the same time you're not trying to expose the integrity of your aircraft as we slow down for this approach to Kerbal Space Center. I'm actually using the flight stick and it's extraordinary. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. We need prograde. We are prograding, realign. We still have 300 kilometers to slow down. Alright, here we go. Gotta burn that speed off. Otherwise, we're not gonna make it. Alright, as you can see, the flames on the outside of the aircraft are slowly making a disappearance as fly. Even over the mountains? Hold on, let me turn RCS on. Alright, so we're currently flying over the Kerbal Mountains. Oh boy. Didn't even make it over the mountains yet. Alright, just to preserve speed, we're going to use our reserve monopropellants. Alright, cool. Just so we can fly over the mountains and is that it right there? Yeah, that's it. Alright, we're over the mountains. Pete? Yeah, we're over the mountains. Alright, here's the final approach. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but as long as we maintain altitude, we'll be alright. Imagine a pilot of a shuttle saying, I don't know if we're gonna make it. Alright. We have plenty of altitude to cover that distance. Alright, we're not gonna need this HUD anymore. We're going to need the vessel view. What's my roll? -2? Why does it feel like I'm so inverted to the left? Alright, we're gonna have to cut into this altitude. As long as we're making distance, that's all that matters. I'm like watching the HUDs. Not even the window, I'm watching the HUDs. Alright, our speed is pretty good. Altitude's pretty good. Coming in at a pretty steep angle here. .170, and we're at 4,000 kilometers in the sky. Alright, we're maintaining good speed. We're 160. We're at 3,000 kilometers. Let me just adjust the there we go. Alright, we're gonna hit the brakes. Our gear's already deployed. Here we go. Oh. $150. 140. Alright, let me tilt the aircraft to the right just a little bit. Okay. 120. Brakes. Air brakes deployed. We dive into the runway here. And mark. Contact. Brake. Miko. And we have made it, ladies and gentlemen. Dawning. Deployment. Let me turn the brake on here. Slow down a little bit. And mark. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the landing of the Dawning from first person. Now that I've landed, I can use the third-person camera, and to think, my vision was literally just this tiny little window right here. Wow, pretty crazy to think. Anyways, that was the Dawning. Was a great landing, was a good mission, and I hope you guys tune in for the next episode.